Warhammer gets woke and attacks fans in epic meltdown after being busted lying. Nice.
What's up, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. Well, we all saw it coming. Warhammer, of course, getting woke, just like all the great video games and board games of our time.
Didn't we already do this? A few years ago, Games Workshop already put out a big thing on, like, removing the fascists from their community. Why are you acting... Okay, this is what I mean by Jeremy not actually caring about any of this, because this already happened and he already covered it. He doesn't remember because he doesn't have any attachment to the brand or any memory for stuff he's covered before. So it's like, you know, yeah, finally, they've gone woke.
Often lament how lame games like Magic the Gathering have gotten since they decided to embrace political ideologies and care more about having enough trans representation in their fictional video game or fictional card game.
Fictional video game talking about Magic the Gathering.
As opposed to...
Again, he doesn't know. None of it means anything. He's just same talking point. Just every...
worrying about destroying the secondary market with ridiculous reprints and crappy card stock quality. But anyway...
That I agree is an issue.
Warhammer is probably on a completely different level in terms of lore, in terms of cost to enjoy the game, and the monopoly that the company that runs it actually has over the game. Games Workshop is...
True, by the way, just to be clear, we don't like Games Workshop here for their incredibly predatory monetization practices, their overpricing of stuff. Just keep it in mind, we don't like Games Workshop here for economic reasons, you know? The reason Games Workshop has embraced the progressivism you know, of the past like decade or so is because it increases their market share. That is how capitalism works. I'm just saying that if you guys are interested in getting into Warhammer, it is pretty fun.
Coincidentally, 3 of the top 4 stockholders in Game Workshop are BlackRock and Vanguard Group, I believe. We're going to take a look at that.
Oh, right. The current narrative, this plays in with the JQ thing, but the right wing thinks that like BlackRock is woke or something. Nothing more woke than being a gajillion-dollar real estate holder, investor, so on and so forth.
So you knew it was coming. These woke ESG companies invest, and of course...
Oh, right, yeah, ESG, yeah.
Of course, now we get it.
Yeah, BlackRock, exactly. Why not White Rock, huh?
Games Workshop makes insulting retcon to Warhammer 40k lore, claims all male Adaptus cadre faction had always...
I'm sorry, what was that, Jeremy?
Claims all male Adaptus cadre...
Adaptus?
To Warhammer 40k lore, claims all male Adaptus cadre...
Motherfucker had no clue what the Adeptus were prior to this drop. I've never heard anyone mispronounce that. Even I know that. Yeah, seriously, Adaptus? Jesus Christ. Wait, do you think he's going to mispronounce Custodes again?
Official canonical evidence to the contrary, the game's all-male Adaptus Custodes faction, Custodes or Custodes, I'm not sure.
The Adaptus Custodes! The Adaptus Custodes! Oh my god! Did he not even watch a video of another person talking about this beforehand? Like he didn't Again, this guy's built a career off of saying that feminists infiltrate, like, gaming communities to ruin them, even though they don't actually care about it, you know? Like, holy shit. It's such a fucking joke, dude. It's such a fucking joke. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Adaptus Casto. All right, the Adaptus Custodes. Okay.
Of the upcoming 10th edition of Warhammer 40k guidebook, Codex Adaptus Custo.
I'm gonna lose it, dude. I'm gonna lose it. Somebody needs to make a supercut of every time he attempts to pronounce this and put it together on Twitter every time anyone on the right wing is like, SJWs are ruining. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god, dude. The Adaptus Custodes.
Games Workshop had specifically chosen to highlight a battlefield story concerning a female custodian by the name of Calades Don't Care.
I honestly, with his pronunciation skills, I don't blame him. I mean, Taravalia Kesh isn't very difficult there. Like that's like Anglo pronunciation logic right there. But okay, yeah, you can't. Like, all right, you know, whatever. Like Calades was the hardest part. A Taravalia Kesh is pretty okay. Like that, it's very basic pronunciation. Jeremy is right. Warhammer is the game where John Warhammer kills everyone with his Warhammer. Yeah, true.
Kesh. Custodian Calidus Kesh stood upon the bridge of the Cobra-class destroyer,
Cobra is a snake? That's not a ship, that's a snake? Sorry.
The warship belonged to the mighty Battlefleet Solar. She anchored in the shadows in the back of the bridge, positioned at a spot where she could observe the actions of the crew members, be they took instrumental pits at the armament shrine.
Be they in the instrumentation pits. Is he actually... Okay, I know that I slur over stuff that I read pretty often, but keep in mind I'm doing it during a live stream, and oftentimes I don't know whether or not the stuff I'm reading over is interesting enough to go into detail. He chose to use this as the, like, script for his reading, and he's fucking up every line.
In the shadows in the back of the bridge, positioned at a spot where she could observe the actions of the crew members, be they took instrumental...
Oh, and by the way, I have this sped up 20%. Want to know the speed he's actually fucking up at?
Positioned at a spot where she could observe the actions of the crew members, be they took instrumental pits.
Be they took instrumental pits is actually be they in the instrumentation pits.
At the armament shrines, in the case of the shipmaster, stood ramrod straight
Shipmaster Lethwick
before his command throne. Now, here's the thing. Retcons, we're used to this, right? Got to have more strong, independent women who don't need no man. That's...
he's probably said that, women who don't need no man, thousands of times in his career. It's like his go-to response. Also, retcons in Warhammer 40k lore, wokeness abound. This has never happened before. You're telling me Games Workshop changes the lore of 40k? That's crazy, you know? I won't stand for this. I, a person whose favorite faction is the Necrons, could never accept or abide by Games Workshop changing the lore. Wait, what was that? Okay. My favorite faction, the Tau, would never have their lore changed by... Okay, I was... keep doing this forever and ever. Okay, the basic gist of it here, I'll just show you just so you can kind of like... Okay, hold on. The Custodes are basically like the super, ultra, duper, super, duper, duper, ultra, super, super, duper, ultra cool guys who defend the Emperor. They're his bodyguards. They also look pretty cool in figurine, if you don't mind painting with gold. Lots of gold. They're cool, and they're sick nasty, and they're cool. In the original in the original lore of Warhammer 40k, no mention was made of there being female Custodes. Like, they were referred to as all men. Some people have tried to say there's evidence that they were referred to as being all, like, not all men, like there were some women. That's not true. It was all men, at least as far as I can tell. My response to this now is, who care? Literally, who care? Who care? They've changed a bunch of stuff. Now they changed this. They're women now. Who care? I don't care. Frankly, I also think it's gay as hell to have, like to take issue with the idea of 12-foot tall, muscular female bodyguards who are effectively immortal. Like, I don't know. Have you, like, I don't know. Pretty gay.
That's the whole purpose. We can't create anything new. Can't create...
What do you mean can't create anything new? They're the Custodes. They've been around for like millennia. What do you mean, like a second custode? What? The new thing is that there's a woman. The new thing is the lady whose name you didn't fully say up there. What do you mean? Do you mean like new lore? A bunch of new lore has happened since the fall of Cadia, which was pretty recent. Like, there's been a ton of updates. He means the writers don't make new things, but they do? There have been like a lot? Incoherent.
We must just change and wokeify whatever the old stuff is.
True. Women are woke.
The concept of a female custodian didn't exist. A legion of 10,000 elite, genetically modified warriors who serve as the personal guard to the ruler of the Imperium of Man, the God Emperor of mankind, as explained in their initial...
Listen to the total lack of emphasis in any of the stuff that he's saying, too, you know? Like...
Elite, genetically modified warriors who serve as the
personal guard to the ruler of the Imperium of Man, the God Emperor of mankind. You're not even going to the Imperium of Man, the God Emperor of mankind. Like, what the fuck? Gotta drag it out to 10 minutes. No, this one's 12:48. You know, he's really hitting his stride here.
The Adaptists are introduced in Warhammer 40k Codex Space Marines 8th edition, elaborating this brief bit alone. So essentially, look, they weren't women.
That's the important part. That's the main thing people know about the Custodes, okay? That's the main thing. It's like that the lore booklet, which is all that a codex is, just said in big print, you know, the sons, and that was it. He does realize that the addition of the Custodes was also like a retcon change, right? Like they had never been mentioned before. So before they hadn't mentioned the Custodes, and like before now they hadn't mentioned a female Custodes, so they let a woman on, you know? But honestly, you should blame the Imperium of Man for getting woke, you know? The Games Workshop is just recording what they're doing, you know? It's the Imperium of Man that allowed a female to become Custodes. This is one of those things where like engaging with arguments only denigrates you, because the honest to God truth is that like there are lore changes all the time, and the idea that like they're new or novel and being done purely for wokeness at the moment is insane, and only being done from outside the community. Anyway, I don't feel like there's much here outside watching him mispronounce stuff, as funny as that is.
That Codex Adaptus Custodes would be running aground of the franchise.
Sorry. Never. Hold on. I just realized I really like hearing him mispronounce it.
That Codex Adaptus Custodes would be running
Adaptus Custodes. That's actually what he settled on. All right. Well, that was pretty dumb. It is genuinely like a little bit frustrating that people are going to form their perceptions about the game and the community from like people who have no idea, like, you know, like zero clue, like people who are outside the community to the point that despite having been given a half dozen tries, he couldn't pronounce anything. I think there are a lot of fans who aren't insane to run into, though. I have never met any of those insane fans in real life. Not once. Seriously, I'm not kidding. None of these games shops, none of this, it doesn't have, it's literally just the same group of people who pretend to care about all of these issues to do their like post Gamergate dunking. Most of the Warhammer people I know are gay and trans. Yeah.